Under the hot sun of the American Wild West, a beautiful morning begins. Meet Buster Scruggs, a charming cowboy riding his loyal horse. He sings happy country songs as he travels through the empty land. At first, Buster looks like a fancy and polite cowboy in his nice clothes. But there's a dark side to him. He's actually the most dangerous gunslinger around, with many killings to his name. Buster is not just a cowboy, but also a wanted criminal. During his ride, Buster finds a small tavern, a lively place in the middle of nowhere. Curious, he decides to go inside. When he enters, he sees tired cowboys looking for a break from the harsh land. Buster walks to the bar and asks the old bartender for a shot of whiskey. The bartender says no because whiskey is illegal there. However, he adds that only criminals can secretly get whiskey. Buster tries to prove to the skeptical cowboys that he is a real criminal despite his clean look and polite manners. But they don't believe him. One cowboy loudly mocks him, saying he won't drink with a con artist. Buster replies with a sharp insult, leading to a duel. Before the other cowboy can react, Buster quickly kills him. Chaos breaks out, and Buster shows his deadly skills, killing each cowboy in an instant. With the fight over, Buster, unharmed and calm, continues his lonely journey. As time went by, Buster came to a new town he had never visited before. As usual, he went straight to a local tavern to get away from the outside world. The town had a strict rule that required everyone to give their weapons to the guard at the door. Buster did this, but he secretly hid 2 pistols in his shoes, always ready for trouble. Inside the tavern, Buster wanted to join a group playing poker. They needed another player because one had left. He asked to join but had to play with the cards already on the table. When Buster saw the card left by the other player, he refused to play. A player named Joe insisted that Buster play the card and even pulled out his gun to threaten him. Buster stayed calm and asked Joe to give his gun to the tavern for safekeeping. To everyone's surprise, Buster quickly kicked the table, causing Joe's gun to hit Joe's face. The room was tense. Buster said he acted in self-defense and then sang a song to calm everyone, making them dance and forget the tension. Their fun was cut short when Joe's angry brother arrived. He wanted revenge and challenged Buster to a duel. Buster accepted. With fast and accurate shots, Buster hit each of his opponent's fingers, making him unable to fight. Buster then used a mirror to trick and defeat his enemy. Just as he was about to sing for his fallen foe, a cowboy called the Kid approached. The Kid had been looking for Buster and challenged him to a duel. Buster, confident in his skills, accepted. But to his shock, the Kid's bullet went through his hat. In a twist of fate, the Kid proved to be faster, ending Buster's journey. As Buster's spirit left his body, he realized that no one can stay on top forever. His soul echoed a song the Kid had sung. Meanwhile, in New Mexico, a young cowboy found a lonely bank in the middle of nowhere. He decided to rob it. Inside, an old teller greeted him. The teller explained that the bank served people from 3 different areas and was built far from any city. He also told stories of past robbers who met bad ends. The cowboy thought these stories were lies and pulled out his gun, demanding the money. The scared teller asked to get the money from under the counter. The cowboy barely dodged a bullet meant for him. Thinking the teller had run out the back, the cowboy took the cash from the drawer. But as he left the bank, he felt a sharp pain in his leg. He had to hide behind a well, realizing that his stolen money was now less important than his safety. In a surprising turn of events, the bank teller comes out from his hiding spot, covered with pots and pans to protect himself. Using these makeshift shields, he easily deflects the bullets and quickly captures the robber. When the cowboy wakes up, he finds himself tied to a tree, surrounded by lawmen who plan to execute him for trying to rob the bank. Just before they can carry out the sentence, a group of Native American warriors attacks, causing chaos. After defeating the lawmen, the leader of the warriors finds the situation amusing and orders his men to leave the cowboy tied to his horse. The cowboy struggles to keep the horse from moving, as a noose is tied around his neck. Hours later, a shepherd finds him. The cowboy calls out for help, and the shepherd shoots the rope, freeing him. The shepherd then offers to help the cowboy after realizing the warriors were behind the attack. However, their journey together is brief. They see a group of riders approaching, and the shepherd runs away, leaving the cowboy alone. The cowboy is captured again and taken to a nearby town, accused of stealing cattle. The shepherd, who seemed to be his savior, turns out to be a thief. The judge quickly sentences the cowboy to hang. As he waits for his fate, he notices a beautiful young woman in the crowd, mixing his last moments with beauty and sadness. In a distant land, an old man works hard, digging for gold. He carefully searches the gravel and sand in a shallow stream, hoping to find gold nuggets. Each discovery makes him more determined, pushing him to dig deeper and search further along the stream for the main source of the gold. As the sun sets, the old man rests by the riverbank. Each new day, he resumes his search, relying on nature for food, fishing, and collecting bird eggs from nests. After days of hard work, he becomes skilled at finding gold. His efforts lead him to a large rock with a rich vein of gold. Overjoyed, he feels triumphant. But his happiness is short-lived as a shadow falls over the rock. A threatening figure appears, gun pointed at him, and starts shooting. In those tense moments, the old man lay still, waiting for what seemed like the end. But when silence fell, the young man thought he had won and carefully climbed down into the hole. Suddenly, the old man, against all odds, overpowered the young robber trying to steal his treasure. Climbing out of the pit, he checked his wound. Luckily, the bullet missed his vital organs, giving him a chance to survive. The next day, after recovering, the determined man collected his precious gold. He buried the robber's body in a shallow grave, keeping his dark secret hidden. With a victorious heart, he began his journey, celebrating his hard-earned success. The story then moves to siblings, Gilbert and Alice, who join a train convoy headed to the fertile lands of Oregon. Gilbert's loyal dog accompanies them. Gilbert, known for his entrepreneurial spirit, has faced many business failures. However, his business partner plans to marry Alice once they reach Oregon. One night, Alice wakes up to Gilbert's violent coughs. It's clear that Gilbert is suffering from cholera, but he insists on continuing the journey, driven by his determination to secure a better future for Alice. By morning, Alice finds Gilbert has succumbed to the illness. Grief-stricken, Alice is offered a choice by Arthur and Billy, the group leaders: return home or continue with them. With no one else to rely on, Alice decides to carry on, fulfilling Gilbert's dreams. After a tearful goodbye and laying Gilbert to rest, they continue their journey, their hearts heavy with loss. As evening falls, Alice approaches Arthur and Billy with a new worry. Gilbert had hired someone to care for their carriage, promising a salary of $400, half of which was already paid. Now, with no money left, Alice believes the remaining funds are buried with Gilbert. Billy, doubting the high salary promised, suggests Alice ignore the caretaker's demands. He also mentions that fellow travelers complained about Gilbert's dog barking. But Alice firmly states the dog belonged to Gilbert, and she is not responsible for it. As they continue their journey, Billy takes care of the dog, easing Alice's burden. Alice keeps seeking Billy's advice on handling the caretaker's demands. In a surprising twist, Billy proposes to Alice, wanting to take on Gilbert's debts and longing for a stable family life after years of being a train driver. Alice, surprised yet comforted by Billy's kindness, accepts his proposal, looking forward to a shared future. Days later, during their travels, Arthur noticed fresh horse tracks, which made him uneasy. Worried about the group's safety, he counted everyone and realized Alice was missing. The caretaker explained that Alice had gone after Gilbert's barking dog. Concerned, Arthur quickly set out to find and protect Alice from any dangers. After a difficult search, Arthur found Alice, who had followed the barking dog to a prairie dog. While they were there, they saw an Indian watching them. Arthur made a peace gesture, but the Indian stayed silent. They realized they were not alone and couldn't escape. Preparing for an attack, Arthur saw that the prairie dog holes could help defend them. He gave Alice a weapon and told her to use it on herself if they were captured, believing death would be better than being captured. The fight began, with little hope of escape. To their surprise, the prairie dog holes helped them by making the Indian leader fall, causing the others to retreat. But suddenly, another warrior attacked Arthur from behind a horse, knocking him down. Pretending to be unconscious, Arthur quickly defeated the warrior. In the chaos, Arthur found Alice had died, having followed his advice, thinking Arthur was dead too. Arthur, deeply saddened, covered her body with his coat. With Gilbert's dog by his side, he decided to return to their group. Struggling with the events, he didn't know how he would tell Billy about what had happened to Alice. So the moral of the story is, even if you're the sharpest shooter in the West, there's always a faster gun, a sneakier teller, or a prairie dog hole waiting to outsmart you.